At my niece's wedding, the planner blocked me at the front door. Vendors are not guests. The service entrance is around the back. I held the cake I had baked as a gift. My own sister heard her and said nothing. By midnight, every guest wanted the name of the woman sent around back. My name is Rosa Alvarez. I am 38, and for 12 years I have owned a small catering company called Rosa's Table. 200 and some weddings, quinceañeras, funerals, church fundraisers, retirement parties under backyard string lights. I built it from my mother's recipes and a used van, order by order, tray by tray. Most days my hands smell like garlic and orange peel. I have never been ashamed of that. Sophia is my sister Carmen's only daughter. During Carmen's divorce, Sophia spent almost 2 years at my place. She did homework on a steel prep table. She learned to fold empanadas before she learned to drive. On Saturday morning, she stood on a milk crate at my stove and stirred the beans like the pot might float away if she stopped. Aunts like me fill in the cracks, and we do not send a bill. Then Sophia got engaged to Daniel, a good boy, quiet, from a family with a lake house and opinions. And my sister changed. Carmen started using words like presentation. At the engagement dinner, she introduced me as my sister. She has a little food business. 12 years, 200 weddings, a little food business. When they set the date, I offered to cater the wedding as my gift. I had the menu in my head before I finished the sentence. My short ribs, my polo asado with garlic and burnt orange, the tres leches Sophia used to eat straight from the pan. Carmen smiled the way you smile at a child who offers to pay the mortgage from a piggy bank. She said, "We've hired Maison Laurent. Daniel's family expects a certain level." Then she patted my arm and asked if I could still bring a cake. "Just have it at the service door by 4, so you're not in the way." For Sophia, I said yes. The venue was an estate with white columns and a long green lawn. I arrived at 3:30 in my good dress, cake boxes stacked on a cart, and I walked toward the front steps because my niece was getting married inside. That is when Bree, the planner, stepped into my path. Clipboard, earpiece, a smile with nothing behind it. Vendors are not guests. The service entrance is around the back. I told her I was the aunt of the bride. She checked her list and said, "I have you down as cake delivery." And Carmen stood by the flower arch in her champagne dress and let it happen. There was no seat with my name on it. I checked the chart. It had Daniel's college roommates, his mother's book club, a man everyone called Uncle Bud. It did not have me. The photographer lined the family up on the lawn, 3 rows of smiling people, while I watched from the kitchen window with my hands in a sink. I stayed to plate my cake. That is what I told myself. But the kitchen felt wrong from the minute I walked in. Maison Laurent had sent 3 sous chefs and a mountain of raw product. Chicken, greens, crates of small potatoes. No chef. Chef Laurent was on his way with the hotline, they kept repeating. The van with the finished food, the sauces, the appetizers. On its way. At 4 o'clock, Bree started calling his phone and reaching voicemail. At 4:20, she stopped smiling. At 4:40, the venue phone rang, and it was about a wreck on the interstate. The chef was fine, shaken up, sitting on a guardrail an hour and a half away. His van was not fine. Half the dinner for 140 people was in a ditch under a broken axle. The sous chefs stood around the prep table, touching nothing. One of them said, "We prep. We don't run a service." Bree's pen clicked against her clipboard because her hand would not hold still. She said the words protein crisis into her earpiece, which on any other day would have made me laugh. Carmen came in, saw the cold ovens, and turned the color of the tablecloths. Dinner was at 6:30. It was 10 minutes to 5. Through the porthole window in the kitchen door, I could see Sophia across the hall. Veil pushed back, laughing, 24 years old, sure that the worst thing that could happen tonight was rain. Nobody had told her. In 10 minutes, Bree would have to explain why dinner was not coming. I took off my good jacket and hung it by the walk-in. I took my apron out of my bag. I have carried an apron in my bag for 12 years, the way some women carry an umbrella. Bree stared at me. "Can you fix this?" "I can run it," I said. "But until the last plate leaves, this is my kitchen. Nobody changes the menu without asking me." She nodded. I tied the apron strings behind my back. "Not for you, for her." Wedding food has one job: hot, on time, and tasting like somebody meant it. I have cooked 200 weddings out of one van and a rented kitchen. I know what 140 portions looks like the way Carmen knows her tax bracket. In Laurent's walk-in were 60 pounds of boneless chicken thighs, crates of greens, and enough small potatoes for 140 people. The food was there. The finished sauces, appetizers, and the person running service were not. My van carried the kit I never unloaded: garlic paste, citrus, spices, rice, sheet pans, and 2 steel containers of sauce base. I put one sous chef on knife work and told him exactly what to cut and how. The second one I put on ovens. The third, the one who said, "We don't run a service," I handed a sheet pan. "Tonight you do." And they moved. Cooks in a failing kitchen want one thing: a voice that is not afraid. At 5, the chicken went into the ovens with garlic, orange, and spices. At 5:10, the potatoes went into boiling water. At 5:40, they hit sheet pans with rosemary, a busboy cut from the estate garden. At 6:15, we sent the first table. At 6:30, the last of 140 hot plates cleared the pass, and nobody out there knew how close they had come to a salad bar. The first person to ask was Uncle Bud from the seating chart. He came to the kitchen door holding his plate like a boy asking for thirds. "Ma'am, I've eaten at every wedding in this county for 30 years. Who cooked this chicken?" A woman in a blue dress wrote her number on a cocktail napkin and asked me to call her about her husband's 50th. And Bree stood in front of me with her clipboard against her chest, the same way she stood at the front door and asked very quietly if she could have 3 of my cards for her binder. Sophia found out from a waiter she has known since she was 9. Through the porthole, I watched him lean in, and I watched her set down her fork. She crossed that ballroom in her white dress, took the microphone from the band, and said 14 words. "My Aunt Rosa cooked tonight's dinner. Tia, you should have used the front door." Then she walked into my kitchen and took me by the hand, flour on my apron and all, and led me out. Past the seating chart with no card for me. Past her new mother-in-law, all the way to the family table where somebody found a chair. People turned toward the kitchen doors. Some smiled. Others looked down at their plates. By the time the band started again, 3 more guests had asked Bree for the name of the caterer who saved dinner. Carmen found me in the parking lot while I loaded the empty pans into my van. Her heels were in her hand. She said, "I was so busy trying to impress Daniel's family that I let them treat you like someone I could hide. I'm sorry." I told her I loved her. Then I told her I would never take the back door for her again. She nodded. That was enough for one night. That was a year ago. The Monday after the wedding, my phone started ringing, and it has not really stopped. The woman in the blue dress booked the 50th. Bree sends me clients now, hotels, a golf club that pays on time. Last month, I catered the wedding of a girl who had been a guest at Sophia's tables that night. My name was printed in the program, Rosa's Table. The coordinator met me at the front steps and held the door. I would like to tell you I walked through like it was nothing. I stood there 1 second with my cart, thinking about a gray steel door and a stack of white boxes. Then I went in the front where the light is. So before you decide which door a person belongs at, be sure you know what they are carrying through it. If you had been me that afternoon standing in that kitchen in your good dress, would you have tied on the apron for the family that sent you around back? Or would you have let them learn what a wedding without dinner feels like? Tell me in the comments. I read everyone.